You might think that they're crazy, you might think that they're nuts, but we know that squirrels have to eat sometimes too. So make them a table and give them a place to snack on some treats with you. I know they eat all the birdseed and dig holes in the grass, chew on the folding chairs just as fast. But remember, they're creatures made by God like you and me. So enjoy the frolicking and the crazy stuff they do, and let them know that we're a little squirrely too. So make them a table and give them a place to snack on some treats with you. Have fun making your table.
Good afternoon. We are going to work on how to build a picnic table for a squirrel today. That's the project we have today. So if you'll bear with me as I go through the assembly process. This is assuming that you have one of the pre-manufactured kits produced by Willis Enterprises, Brown Avenue, Erie, PA. Now let's get right into the kit. Now you'll see that our kit comes complete with all of the things that you'll be needing for this project. Well, almost, not all the tools here, but this is the project that we're going to be building, how to build a squirrel picnic table. And this was originally put together here by Katie Foster. So thank you, Katie Foster, for making this a lot easier for us. So I'm going to set this aside up here. We have instructions available. You'll see that we used all of the highly sensitive and accurate tools to be sure that everything was in perfect order. In addition, we had the proper mask to be sure that we were safe with regard to the pandemic and that we didn't inhale any sawdust as we were doing the cutting and sanding. Although this kit will require you to sand it to take some more time as you're going through the process, because that's what this is all about, spending quality time with your children and making something like this last as long as possible. Okay, so you'll see that the kit has all pre-cut and pre-drilled parts to it, and you will need some glue for the assembly process. The screws that we're using are rated for outdoor. They do have that funny little head in there, which the kit will come with a little bit for a screwdriver to put into. You may end up needing one of these gadgets here because there's a funny way that when we work underneath, and I don't know how else you might want to do it, but you can't really put a regular screwdriver in there. There probably isn't room, but since I've never assembled one of these kits, maybe it'll all go together just fine. In any case, that's something that I think could be a problem. Now, the kit does come with the patented spacer for top assembly. You'll see here, it's a 1/2-inch thick piece of plywood. In addition to this 22.5 degree triangle support or spacer for putting together the A-frame, which this will come in very handy. And take a look at this, 90 degrees. It's going to really help us get the squareness for this squirrel table together, as we don't want to compromise the integrity of this table. Now, I think what we do, the parts that we have here, you'll see this would be the top, and this would be the bottom part of the top of the table. These are the seats here, and you see as we drilled the holes, they're drilled through, and then they have a little recess in there, so the screw will be nice and flush there. So when the squirrels are sitting on it, they won't get caught on those screws. And these two parts here are going to go on the table to hold the table together. These go underneath here. You'll see that. In addition, they have some holes drilled on the side that will, they'll go like this. And then the holes on the side will screw into the legs. And we'll see that. These are the seats. The seats will rest on top of these here it'll become apparent. These are the legs for the table. This will be the bottom part of the legs. And that's pretty much the parts that we have. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you how we would go about doing this. I think the first part we would do is we would take the top and put them on the handy dandy guide here. Let's see. All right, so you get them right up tight into there, like that. You see that there? So they're all lined up, square. And then I would recommend that you take this spacer for the top assembly, putting it here. It says this side up, so put it in there and sort of slide it in there. I would take one of the legs and rest it in there like that, just so we have that to allow for where the legs are going to be. And then this unit here, you'd want to take one of these and it would go with these drawings on the these drawings will go on the let's see here, hold on. I think they would go, they would go like this, just like this, so that these drawings go on the inside toward that leg that we're using for a spacer right now. So you would put it here, and then you would center this piece here between these here. So that's about right. And then what I would suggest is that you drill a hole here, and it would be, don't drill it too big, because you're just drilling into here. It would be like a 3/32 maybe. That would probably work. But make sure that you don't go too big, or you won't have enough holding in there. But I would suggest that you put glue on the bottom part of that when you put it down. Glue it on there. Hold it up snug against here when you do it. And after you've pre-drilled those, put these screws. Put some screws in. Put 3 of those in there. And then do the same thing on the other side over here with the other piece. You'd flip this around and then get this other piece on, and then you should be able to pull this out and set it back down. And then you'll end up with a piece at the tabletop that looks like that, all assembled. So I'm going to take that off of here for right now, and we're going to, the next step will be to do the A-frame. So we're going to take one of the legs and put it in here, and this patented 22.5 degree guide for us. And then we'll take this other leg here, noting that the lines are here. And we're going to line that up here flat against the top. So you don't want it cattywampus like that. You want it to be lined up real nice like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these parts here. This is the seat support. And you're going to put it right over top of there, and you'll see on the bottom of the seat support there's a line right there, and you're going to line that line right up to the line on the guide. And then you're going to want, I think it's about 2 3/8 inch from here to here on both sides. You make sure that you can measure that. And then you'll want to pre-drill those, add some glue to that side there, pre-drill them, and screw the screws in there. Be careful when using a power driver, because this is pine and you really don't need much. So probably should use a hand screwdriver as much as you can, if you can get one with that funny star shape on it, or just make sure you're not sending it home too hard. The glue will hold it together. And I'm sure you'll be using a good quality exterior glue, because this project will obviously last for many years to come. So you'll go ahead and build this, and then you'll build another one just like it with the other parts. And now you'll have these 2 A-frames, and then you'll have the table. And then what I'm thinking is the next step, what you would do is, because I've never done this, is I'm thinking that you'd probably take your table that you made and you'll put it back. It's already made. You'll put it back on here. It's going to already have this part mounted on it. So it's going to be like this, sitting right about here. And then you're going to take your A-frame that you just made, and you're going to add some glue to it on the inside here and on the part there. And the A-frame's going to sit. Something like this. Actually, this part would be like this, and you'll see that I've drawn on here the lines where it'll go. The A-frame's going to end up sitting like this. It'll already be built. You'll put it there, and you should be able to just screw the screw in from the side there to get that going. And then you'll have that. And that'll be pretty easy on the first one. The challenge is going to be when you go to do this second one over here. Well, you've got one here, and you really only have 5 or 6 inches in between here to get your screwdriver, and that's why maybe a right angle jobby might work. Good luck on that one. Anyway, so that's how that goes together. And then, so you'll be able to have the unit done, and you'll flip it over, and you'll have your seat rails that are going to be, this part I can't really demonstrate too much because, again, I have not done this, but you're going to have your seat rails that are something like this with your tabletop going across here. You'll have your tabletop coming here, and then what I would recommend is that you'll have these seats here, and you'll have to put them on, and you'll see how they're sort of offset. So there's 2 seats for each side, and so they're going to go here. They're actually, the table's going to be over top of it a little bit because they're going to be inset. You'll see that when it goes. So the seat isn't going to make it all the way to the end here. It's going to have some overhang to it, and so that's why I offset these, and I just made them both the same so you wouldn't get them confused. But these will drill down into these seat supports here, add a little glue underneath those. That will get that taken care of. You'll just tuck them up tight against the support the leg support that's going to be coming through there. You just want to push this first one in there, put it up there, and then put the next one in right next to it. And it'll be really nice. You'll see it'll fit. Should fit all together nicely. See how it gets a little tight in there to put a screw in there. You'll get it. But in any case, as far as mounting it, what you may want to do is, if you have a piece of 3/4 wood, you should be able to attach it to the outside, or just sort of screw it into here. If maybe it's a bigger piece that's like this, and you can screw it on, and depends on how you're going to attach it to your post. That's why I didn't make any provision for that. So thank you. I hope that this project works out for you. You have fun with your children on it, and have a good day.